Hey guys, welcome back to Slow Travel Chronicles. My name is Stephanie and this is my husband Garrett. And we are currently on an Italian trip. We've been here in Italy for 2.5 months. We just recently shared a video about our time in Palermo and Reggio Calabria. Check out that video if you haven't already. We'll leave a link in the description box below. In this week's video, we're going to talk about our month-long stay in Naples, Italy, and we'll talk about some of the places that we went. We'll talk about our Airbnb, our overall feeling of the city, and I don't know if you hear background noise and cars blaring their horns. I apologize for that. We are right across the street from a hospital, and you may even hear some ambulance sounds, but when we get to the Rome video, which is where we are now, we'll talk about if that bothered us or not. But spoiler, it has not bothered us. Anyway, back to Naples. We were there for the month of February of 2023. And we mentioned in our last video that we started in Palermo and worked our way north so that we could have as warm of temperatures as we possibly could. So we were in the 55 to 65 degree range. Pretty much for our whole trip, and we like that. So we get to Naples, and we are at the Museo metro station. So we are right beside the archaeological museum. So just to give you
our Airbnb,
that's where we stayed. I would call that a little bit of a grittier neighborhood. That's my 2 cents. About it. So when we first got off the subway, there was trash, not Palermo level trash. It was more cluttery than actual like household garbage type of trash. There was
what we learned in Naples is, and you'll see it everywhere, these street sellers sell little bags of confetti. And God, parents buy them for their kids, and you'll walk down the street and there'll be like a couple of 4-year-olds just chucking paper everywhere. It is just everywhere in Naples, this confetti. It's just mind-boggling why they do it. But I would say the neighborhood that we stayed in by the Museo and Cavour stations was probably just a blue-collar neighborhood. It was fine. It was safe. It was busy. So it was pretty nice, actually. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I never felt unsafe at all, but we were, like we said, a quick walk to the metro station. We had several grocery stores. Our Airbnb was quiet, with the exception of one night that another tenant in the building got into a fight with their boyfriend and girlfriend were fighting, but other than that, it was good. Now, this was a small Airbnb, and we'll have links to video about the Airbnb in the description below if you haven't checked those out, but it was teeny tiny.
It was basically like a studio loft. You had one room downstairs and a loft bedroom upstairs. It was fine for 2 people. The only difficulty was because it was 2 stories high, kind of regulating the temperature between upstairs and downstairs was a challenge.
Yeah.
But it was really well equipped, had everything we needed to stay. So as far as that went, it was fine.
The couch, the bed was a little firmer than we liked. The couch was okay. It was at least long.
Oh, yeah.
So that was good. It had a TV. It had good. We didn't have any problems with the Wi-Fi. So we liked it. And the bonus for that place is they came in every week because we were there for a month. And they changed our linens out.
Yeah.
So towels and sheets were changed. The comforter was changed. And they cleaned for us at no additional charge. So that was pretty nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Naples, in terms of things to do, we had tons of stuff to do. One of, I don't know which was my favorite thing that we did. I liked, there was a museum, Capodimonte. We'll have a video on that.
Yeah.
I really liked that. We took a bus up the hill and spent probably 2 or 3 hours there. Yeah. The artwork was fabulous. A couple of other things that we did were,
an art museum. So we went to the Gallery of Italy, the Naples one. It was really nice. We spent probably about an hour and a half there. That was really pretty. And then we went to several of the smaller religious museums, largely because we were there and they were there. They were nice if you like religious museums. Not really our thing, but they were well done.
And we took 3-day trips from Naples. We went to Pompeii, which is definitely a must-see, and we'll have video on that. We probably should have allowed a little bit more time in Pompeii. We also went to Herculaneum. If I had to pick between the two, I liked both. I actually liked Pompeii better, I think.
I think I liked Herculaneum better. It's smaller. I think it's better preserved. It is, in many respects, nicer. It's, I guess, what I would say is it's more cool stuff, less ruins. But it doesn't have the theaters and the big open spaces and the amphitheater, the gardens. It's more like a small little town versus what would have been a city back then. And you can tell the difference. Yeah. So if I could only go to one, I don't know.
Anyway, I would go to Pompeii. And then we also went to Caserta.
Yeah, I went to the Royal Palace at Caserta for the day. That was really nice. I like that.
Now, that was just a train ride. A train ride. It wasn't that far, maybe a
little under an hour.
Man, I have no concept of time. But there was a museum there. The gardens were fabulous. The fountains were really, really good. Now, we had to the fountain, Garrett's like, oh, it's a half a mile out from the palace to the fountain. No, it was what, 2.5 miles?
No, it was like a little over a mile and a half.
I'm going to look that up. I'll put the actual distance on the screen. So we walk all the way out there, and it was a warm day that day. So it's full sun, and then we were able to cut over and walk through some trees, which was a little bit muddy. And we wanted to hit a certain train back, and I was tired and probably moaning and groaning a little bit. So we paid the $2 each to take the shuttle from the far fountain back to the palace. That was probably a mistake because that
shuttle bus was so damn hot. It had glass windows, glass ceilings. It was like a damn sauna. It was at least 85 to 90 degrees in there. Not kidding. No air circulation. I mean, it was just brutal. And we were on the bus with probably 20 or 30 other Italian people all wearing their winter coats, and we're sitting there trying to take off our windbreakers, and they're wearing heavy winter coats.
Yeah, that's one thing we've noticed in every city that we have been in, specifically Naples and Rome so far, is it is hot. It will be, there are days that we've hit 65, 70 degrees already, and we're sweating. We're like stripping down to our short sleeves. And there are people walking around in winter coats like it's no big deal. And I'm like, oh my God, I would be like vomiting because it's so hot. But so we enjoyed that. Some of the other things that we did while we were there, we walked around.
We walked around quite a bit. In Naples, we went to the Royal Palace of Naples, which was really nice. That was an enjoyable, hour and a half walking around. We went to the Seaside Promenade a couple of times, walked down there, stopped and got a drink, and some bruschetta, I think, one day.
Oh, yeah.
Up on the hill, overlooking town, there's a nice monastery up there that was kind of a surprise to us. We just went there.
That was awesome.
It was really nice. There's like a little museum with some artwork. You kind of walk through some of the older rooms, and they have a really spectacular church up there. I mean, it's probably the nicest church we went to in Naples. So we spent some time up on the hill, went to the castle overlooking the city. Wonderful views of the city from up there. We went up there several times, at night, during the daytime. It was really pretty.
Yeah. And going back to food, I will leave a link for this restaurant below. We went to a restaurant called La Locanda Gesu Vecchio. I know I'm butchering that. It is a Michelin star restaurant, and we are not foodies at all, but I saw this restaurant listed in one of the travel magazines that I read, and we went for lunch one day, and we didn't have a reservation, but we were like maybe the second group there.
Yeah.
And so they gave us a table, but I would definitely recommend making a reservation. That food was fabulous. So we had bruschetta, which we both liked, and then I got the Genovese pasta, which was to die for, and Garrett got the rabbit, which if you haven't had rabbit,
tastes like chicken, but it's really good.
Yeah, and I would definitely, so far that has been the my favorite food on this entire trip. And I would definitely go back to the restaurant for sure.
I think what we realized in Naples is, at least in February, it may be different in the summer, but if we got to a restaurant right when it opened, either at 11 or 12 for lunch or at 6:30 or 7 for dinner, we didn't need a reservation. But come around 7:30 or so, the restaurants were full. So, you can't really roll into a restaurant an hour after it opens and think you're going to get a seat, because you're not.
Yeah.
So unless you have a reservation.
Yeah. And we did make reservations a couple of times. But definitely check out that restaurant if you are in Naples, and definitely go on some of those day trips. It's definitely worth it. I would say Naples definitely has enough stuff that you could spend a month there. I mean, we did, and
oh yeah, there's a lot of things to do in Naples. It's also a good jumping off point to go down to the Amalfi Coast if you want to do that. We didn't, just because it was kind of cool and windy most days. Overcast a lot of days, was kind of difficult to predict which days we're going to have nice, warm, sunny weather. So we figured, we didn't need to go down there in February. The Amalfi Coast is kind of half shut down anyway, just because it's not tourist season. Maybe something we'll do in the future. But, Naples, I really like Naples a lot.
Yeah. One of the things that I would say that we also missed was we didn't go up to Mount Vesuvius. We can see it, but there was still snow on the top of it when we got there. And we did not really have, we didn't have enough, the right type of shoes to do that sort of.
We could have managed it. I mean, there were bus tours that run people up there, and we saw, lines of tourists waiting to get on the buses. But just being driven up there in a shuttle bus to walk around for a bit just didn't really interest us that much. I mean, it's just cool being able to see, the volcano over the city. I didn't feel like I needed to go up on the volcano to either look at it or look down on the city, because there's a lot of vantage points over Naples just outside the city.
Yeah. So I would say I actually really liked Naples, and I would go back.
I would go back. I don't know if we will, but if we do, it'll be in combination with going down to the Amalfi Coast for a week. I think Naples maybe doesn't get the love like Rome and Florence and some of the bigger cities do, but it's really nice. You just got to overlook the confetti in the streets, because I'm telling you, that crap is everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I think they said that they celebrated it, or they sold a lot more because it was Ash Wednesday. Can you read that?
I think it had something to do with, they were definitely doing celebrations and Easter celebrations and Ash Wednesday stuff when we were there.
So anyway, we hope you liked this video. Hope you found it helpful. We hope if you go to Naples that you enjoy yourself as much as we did, and check out our upcoming video about our month-long stay in Rome. And we'll see you next Thursday. Have a great week. Also, I almost forgot. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, do all the things. It really does help our channel out. And Garrett's also, we are also going to talk about the Metro and the art card that we utilize to save some money. So check out that video too.
That would be in Naples.
In Naples.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.